Bitcoin right now looks like it's on the edge of a massive collapse. I'm talking levels down to the low $40,000 range, maybe into 20, 30K ranges as well, which is absolutely terrible. But it really, really bothers me that everyone is saying the same thing right now. You see, it's very difficult to get analysis, to find analysis in the space right now, which is not extremely bearish. And that's a sign that things are usually wrong. That we are actually going to, in fact, continue trending higher and do something absolutely spectacular and set new all-time highs. That's typically what happens at times like right now when everyone is giving you the same bearish analysis. But here I am, and I'm going to present it to you as well, because I have seen something that is quite concerning to me right now, something that really, with quite a high success rate, has been dangerous for this market with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I want to break down exactly what I'm seeing for you and why I think that actually it might not play out, or why it might, and a little bit of information on the next trades that I plan on taking. The trades have been going pretty well in this range for myself and VIPs as well. If you do want to jump into the group, you already know how to do that. But let's take it straight over to the main analysis right here. And really, the main thing I've just got to draw your attention to straight away, ladies and gents, is this descending triangle that Bitcoin has formed on the smaller time frames. It looks something a little bit like this, and we are flirting with the bottom of it right now. So by the time you watch this video, you're probably going to know the answer to this. Did we break down below, or did we end up finding support? We've already wicked below it now twice on the 1 hour time frame, and we are certainly showing signs right here that this trend is weak. And the reason that this is concerning is that this descending triangle is coming at a previous low. This is a low that we set just 15, 16 days ago, maybe even a little bit more than that. I'm sorry, more like 20 days ago, we set this low right here in this range. And that means, I mean, we already know how this typically goes for those of you who are regular viewers. If you're trading downwards and you set a low like right here, and then you move up and you hit that low again, if you're in a downtrend, right, if the overall movement of the trend is downwards and you reach the same low that you hit once, you reach it again, man, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign that you are looking to potentially break down. And it depends on the way the market is, the sentiment, the psychology, and different things like that. And right now, this is one of those situations where those of you who have been regular subscribers and viewers of this channel, you'll know, thank you very much for hitting on that subscribe button. You will know very clearly by now that this market can very easily get excited or upset, because there are a lot of speculators here that, with the bearish side, people are only here interested in making money. And so as soon as it starts looking difficult to make money, they're going to start leaving the market pretty quickly and panicking. That's why we get really big drops like this one from Elon Musk. Thank you very much to the crazy billionaire. And, or was it? Yeah, it was this drop right here. That's why we get these kind of drops. But, it also means that, when you're in such a fragile market state right now and you've fallen down to the same low again, you're in a bad place. You don't want to be down to these lows too often. And the best thing you can actually do in these kind of situations really is fall down to them and bounce up straight away. And we've done that before. Here's an example where we fell down to a low and we bounced up straight away. This actually had a lot of strength behind it. I was saying that if Bitcoin managed to fall down to these levels, we'd be looking at falling down to $42,000, which was roughly around here. So we did actually miss my target by 1,000, which was completely fine by me. But we showed all the strength we needed right here, ladies and gents. We fell down and we came back up. Look at this, with the same intensity that we fell down. This is a classic. This is what's called a V-shaped correction. This is what every economist and his nan wants to see with the global economy right now. Every central bank partner, for example, would want to see right now. This is absolutely beautiful in the financial world because it just does indicate that, there wasn't strength, but now there's a lot of strength. That's basically what it's saying. And we can see that that's what triggered the rally up to the all-time high. Again, we got another V-shaped correction right here. We dropped down, we topped out at 61.7, dropped down to 50,000, and we got a V-shaped correction. And look, this triggered another rally up to the all-time high. Which drop didn't trigger a rally to the all-time high? Well, we have 1 over here, 2 over here, and 3 right here. Number 3 was the one that did not trigger a rally to the all-time high. This one did. Look, previous all-time high was here. We topped it, coming off this V-shaped correction. Again, previous all-time high was right here. We topped it, coming off this V-shaped correction. The one time that we didn't set a V-shaped correction, and actually the price just kind of floated sideways in a bearish range, was the one time that Bitcoin could not push $60,000. That's not a coincidence in my opinion. That's a very, very clear sign that's showing us that the way the market starts a move tells you a lot about the health that it has. And this, yes, of course, we did move down, we did move up quickly, but what happened in between, this was pretty bad. You know, this is not a V-shape, pardon me, this is not a V-shape correction, this is more like a W or a U, which is just not as strong as a V. And, you know, that already tells us a little bit about the strength or lack thereof in this market right now. And so when you consider next that we're also trading down at the same level again, in fact, lower than that same level again, and we're in a descending triangle, which is a bearish pattern, man, you're in a bad, bad spot. Descending triangles are bearish. They're typically considered to be bearish because, and I'm going to show you why these are so reliable in just a minute, so stick with me here. They're typically considered to be very bearish because you've got this downward trending resistance line right here. This is a diagonal resistance line that always moves downwards, but you're keeping the same floor. And the fact that you're keeping the same floor is a good thing, but the fact that that resistance keeps moving down is bad. It essentially means that you're getting squashed right here. See, you're getting squashed to the downside constantly, and obviously you will never really trade right into the apex, which is where the two lines meet. You'll always, you'll usually only break out between 66 to 75% of the pennant's completion, and that puts us, I mean, pretty close to the breakout point, really. And you know, that does show us that the pressure is compressing to the downside. You know, it really wants to explode. That's very clear. We're already teasing the downside right now. We've used it as resistance. We've used it as support, so we know it's a valid pattern for sure. And we also know that it's forming in a downtrend. We know that it's forming in a downtrend. We know that it's forming off the back of pretty bad news. We know that the market is very fragile. We know that this is a level that we just should not be flirting with too much. But we're spending too much time here. And while we're spending time here, we're not even doing anything good. We're doing bad things. We're forming a bearish pattern. This is bad. This is pretty bad. This is, in fact, I think as clear as it gets in terms of telling us that we could be ready to break down. And again, that takes me to my primary concern, which is that a lot of analysts in this space right now think that we are actually going to be moving down, and that very well might mean that we will, because when everyone is in broad agreement, like when Bitcoin went above $20,000, everyone knew Bitcoin was going to go very high. It happens, right? When Bitcoin fell below $6,000 in 2018, shout out to those of you who remember, I was there, I traded it. Everyone knew that if Bitcoin fell below 6,000, it was going to drop like a stone, and it did. Four Flies himself, right here, I made 60% profit on that move. On the way back up, made 360% because that wasn't enough. And as usual, VIPs saw absolutely everything with those trades that I made. You know, it's worth noting that we're not just in this group, we're not just making money when the market's going up. Anyone can do that. That's kind of down to luck, which is fine. It's okay to get lucky and it's good. You know, you should be maximizing how much luck you can enjoy in this market. But it's also important to back it with skill and risk management and so on. And these are the things that people tend to miss out on, which result in them not maximizing what they can make out of the market, which is a big mistake that a lot of people are making right now. And number two, it actually means that they're losing money if they don't do these things. These are problems that we've helped a lot of VIP members avoid. It's been going amazingly with very impressive results. And just on the red day very recently, this big red day right here, as you guys know, I don't just trade Bitcoin. I also trade coins like Ethereum and the like. And on Ethereum, I ripped two very impressive trades in the very same day. Right here, yesterday was a fun day. This was the day after the dump. First, I told VIP members I was selling 50% of my long-term Ethereum holdings right before the dump. This was literally hours before the dump when Ethereum was still at its all-time high around 4,400. And then shortly afterwards, I also made another 35% profit on Ethereum during that very same dump. You know, then planning my next short position on Bitcoin and so on. These positions have moved very well in this market. And if you want to be able to watch me trading in real time, like our 1,100 plus VIP members have been able to do during this market, then you can join by following these steps on screen. It's been blowing up. We've got some amazing offers for you as well right now if you are interested. And I will see you on the other side. But let's take it back to the chart. And before I go into the psychology of what it means when everyone thinks we're going to be trading lower and why I think that might actually mean we're going to trade up, I want to finish off this technical analysis, because the picture right here, ladies and gents, is that from a technical perspective, this is pretty bad. You know, I tried to see, you know, the silver lining here, and actually there might be a silver lining. It's to do with the RSI. I think it's the weekly RSI, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. You know, the only silver lining really that I see right here is that the RSI has fallen down to neutral levels now, showing that we're not overbought, so to speak, meaning that we're not actually trending up too much. And, you know, that's been a good thing. Historically, when Bitcoin's RSI fell down to these kind of levels, you can see, if we take a look at the logarithmic chart, you can see that when the Bitcoin price falls down to this level on the RSI, we typically see a bounce on the RSI and an absolutely stellar rise with price action. So I can just plot this again right here. The next time Bitcoin reaches this same level on the RSI, which is around 54, 53, we trigger a very, 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 very impressive rally to the upside. And then again, the next time that very same thing happens, we trigger another very, very, very impressive rally to the upside. And what makes this even more curious, in my opinion, is the fact that this very same RSI level that acts as support, you know, when Bitcoin's RSI falls down to this level, it typically triggers very nice rallies upwards. We can see that very clearly with 3 separate instances right here. What makes it interesting is that the RSI also acts as resistance sometimes. This was actually what rejected Bitcoin a few times as well, and that was interesting. That really does tell us that this is an important RSI level, and here we are. We've fallen down to it again. We've fallen down to it right now in this market, and I really think that, you know, that's got to mean something significant. I don't know what, but it's something there. You know, there have been times where we dipped below, so it's not impossible, but we haven't even bounced off it too much during this range, and I certainly think that there is some room for that to be a good sign, something that applies, something that gives the market a little bit more sunshine. But that's pretty much where the good stuff ends, in my opinion. I mean, it is a good sign, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see it, but you know, what I have to make clear to you is just how reliable these, and look, we're breaking down below it right now, just how reliable these descending triangle patterns are. Before I actually go there, because we are breaking down, I should now talk about my targets. If the way you can actually forecast this is if you measure the size of, this is the wrong tool, 1 second. If you measure the size of a pennant like this, the flagpole essentially is what it's called, you can then draw that down to help you forecast where this thing might end up stop dropping, which is, bam, $52,000. This is the long-term target that I've been looking at for a very, very long time. Once again, shout out to those of you who've been subscribed to this channel for a long time, because you'll remember I kept on saying $42,000. If you're wondering why I'm saying 42,000 is a good bounce zone for Bitcoin, that's because this is exactly where Bitcoin bottomed out at before. If I draw a horizontal line right here and I remove my drawing, my blue arrows and such, we can see that that is exactly where we are forecast to fall down to, just using this simple tool of analysis. It doesn't mean it's correct, it just means that it's widely respected in the space, and you know, we do have self-fulfilling prophecies here as well, so that could certainly mean that falling down to 42 would make a little bit of sense, maybe as a final drop. This is bad, we're dropping very fast right now, and you know, the other reason that these are just so reliable is that we've formed them many times in the past before. We formed them on large time frames. Let me show you one right here. This was in 2018. We formed one right here. Take a look at this. This was a bad one for the market. Bitcoin halved nearly. Yeah, it did halve after this one. That was bloody terrible. This is the one that I traded where I said I made 60% profit. And we formed ascending triangles too, which are the inverse of this pattern. So take a look at this on the logarithmic chart once again. We can see that there was another, actually this doesn't show on the logarithmic chart, there was another ascending triangle that looked a little bit like this. It's actually tricky to draw, but you can get the general idea of it right here, where Bitcoin was for the most part trending up. It had the same ceiling right here, and then it exploded to the upside. So we actually traded both sides in VIP. I traded the downside, made 60% profit, traded the upside, made 360% profits. That's 6 times higher. That was pretty damn impressive. Once again, all VIP members saw how I did that, and right now we're forming the very same pattern that has just meant death for Bitcoin so many times. There are many more examples of these descending triangles. Look, there's another one right here, and it just shows you very, very clearly, in my opinion, without much room for interpretation, that when Bitcoin forms these kind of patterns with downward sloping resistance and keeping the same floor, it means bad things for Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the bottom, from the bottom of this, ended up dumping down by 23% and 15% in the same day. You know, if we look at similar drops to that just right now, 15%, that's going to put us pretty close to my target of $42,000. Let me actually measure that really quickly, and we can see just how perfectly that looks. So minus 15%, that's going to put us, actually my bad, below the $42,000 level. Look at us just dropping like a stone right now. So that's what I'm seeing right here. Now the flip side, and the final thing, because this is fine, the fact that we're dropping is okay, we're still in good ranges. You know, at the end of the day, we need to remind ourselves that on the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame, Bitcoin has rallied up massively. You know, this is certainly not the end of the bull market at all, in my opinion. We're nowhere near it, in my opinion, purely because, well, we might be near it, but we're definitely not there yet, in my opinion. We've got a long way left, purely because markets do not, like an exponentially parabolic rising market does not top out like this. You know, they usually top out with a massive blow off top, and it's like a mountain peak. This is consolidation at an all-time high, my friends. I mean, this is nothing bad at all. And we can see that this was how the previous all-time high ended in 2017. If there's another one I can show you. No, this chart doesn't go far enough back, but you know, each Bitcoin rally has never ended like this. This can only mean a temporary setback, in my opinion, and that takes me to the bullish side of this, because at the end of the day, when everyone is expecting things like this, it can mean that we're going to get absolutely monstrous rises to the upside like we did above $20,000. But at a stage like this, what it's much more likely to mean, in my own opinion, is that we drop a little bit. We scare people a lot with a little bit more of a drop when people are already tense. Because guys, what we got to keep in mind is that dropping from 60K down to 40 in itself is not very scary. What makes it scary for the retail, for the masses, for the people who are new in this market, what makes it scary for them is the fact that they also have to experience these drops a long time, right? Because there's the element of time here where, you know, we set the all-time high at $60,000 and then we traded down over, I mean, this was a fair bit of time. This was like 2 weeks, right? This was 11 days, nearly 2 weeks. And then, you know, for the next 11, 13 days, which, you know, now we're up to about 20, 25 days, we're looking at, you know, still we haven't set a new all-time high. And then again, over the next kind of 10 days, we're now setting new lows. This is going to scare people, you know, because it's a lot of time pressure being added as well, along with the downward price action. So it's going to shake people out a little bit. It's going to scare people a little bit. And that usually is what directly precedes the big rise upwards, because we're shaking out those last hands. This is very clearly, you know, some market movements to, you know, accumulate Bitcoins for people who perhaps have much larger holdings. You know, the Elon Musk news, I hope it's quite obvious to you guys by now, was all clearly manipulation right from the beginning. Very, very clearly, from the moment where he first teased crypto, you know, for the first time ever in such a capacity, Bitcoin pumped up massively right here. This was the Elon Musk pump the first time. I remember this very clearly. His pump started and ended within the same day. You know, I mean, this was clearly market manipulation right from the beginning. It's got all the characteristics of it. And that, to me, I mean, these are just signs that, you know, when everyone's starting to give you the same analysis, it just means that the market has not, because this is how markets actually top out, ladies and gents. And I say this all the time. So if you've never heard this before, it's almost certainly because you're not subscribed. So go ahead and do that. Hit that subscribe button. You're gonna absolutely love the content moving forward. And by the way, for those of you who are looking for a platform to trade crypto, Bybit is what I'm using. It's linked in the description down below. You can check it out in the description. You're going to be getting a $1,600 bonus, much higher than this that I've got on screen when you do follow that link down below, depending on how much you deposit. And if you are in the United States, you will need a VPN. I'm doing that right now because I am in the US. But if we take it back to you know, this thing about the markets is the way these top out is they do have these blow off tops. And so when we've got a situation when too many people are starting to feel like they're able to call the top, or feel like, you know, the market cycle has ended, but it very clearly, in my opinion, hasn't, because of this pattern that we're seeing on the chart, which is not, this is a pattern of consolidation. This is a pattern of sensible price action, right? This is not extreme exuberance. Yeah, that's the big thing I have to communicate with you guys. This is not extreme exuberance. This is not people absolutely losing their minds. This is people just kind of sitting there and being like, okay, I still like Bitcoin, whatever. That's a sign that, you know, the market can still turn people bearish, you know. And if the market can still turn people bearish when we're at such a high price level, because we are, it's $45,000, if the market can still turn people bearish, then that to me is a sign that actually, you know, we haven't reached that level of exuberance yet. Because the way these markets do top out is that right at the end, everyone is bullish. Everybody is bullish right at the end. We're going to get drops like this, and it's just a temporary dip until a much bigger rise. That's what everybody is going to be saying without any doubt in their mind. And we're just not there right now, because people still feel like this could genuinely be the end, and so on. And that just tells me, look, the way we achieve that extreme irrational exuberance is that we keep forming patterns like this, which look like it's the end, but then Bitcoin recovers. And what that does is it turns the naysayers, it turns the non-believers into extreme bulls. It turns them into people who are diehard believers. When you get enough of that transition happening, that's when you've got the market ripe for a massive crash, an explosion upwards in the final stage, and a subsequent massive explosion downwards. That's when we get it. We're clearly not there with the parameters that I've described in this video. Now, maybe I'm wrong. It's happened before. Super rare because I'm 4 flies. I'm just joking. But it is, you know, I mean, this is something where I could definitely be wrong. But I feel fairly confident in saying that, just analyzing how people are behaving and then applying it to the charts. It's not matching up. This is not how, you know, a Bitcoin rally would typically ever end. I mean, we just had one, you know, 2 years ago in 2019, 2018 actually. No, sorry, this one right here, 2019. And you know, again, this was a blow off top. You know, this market cycle, it did not end by trading sideways and then moving down. No, it was a blow off top, a descending triangle. We didn't form any of that here. You know, I mean, this was such a healthy bit of price action consolidation right here. And that's why overall, despite these bearish signs, I'm just not that worried. There you go. Hope you have enjoyed this analysis. And if you want to see how I'm going to be trading this, because VIP members have been able to do that right since the beginning, then you can join VIP by following these steps down below. These are steps that have, for many people, these 3 clicks have even resulted in potentially life-changing gains, or more importantly, in my opinion, life-changing habits. These are things that, you know, you can join VIP for even a short space of time. It's going to teach you so much in a short space of time because of all the resources that we have for you, because of everything we've made to build you into the best trader you can be. Hopefully that, you know, you can be in here for just a short time and take away so much when you leave as well. And that is it's been an absolute hell of a journey. We've got 1,100 plus members in here, and if you want to get in on some of the action with a discount right now, then the steps are down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Apologies for the turbulent uploads. I've been traveling a lot, and I will try to keep a slightly healthier schedule moving forward, but I cannot promise anything. So, but I'll always try my best. And just a note for those of you who don't already know, we do have another video producer on this channel. Any video that has the siren, the red flashing emoji at the beginning of the title of the video, that video is not by me. That's by the new producer. So if you like his short style videos, his videos are just summaries of these ones. Sometimes they're also updates on analysis, but rarely. If you like his stuff, watch out for those videos. If you don't like his stuff, then don't click any videos with an emoji in the title. Really hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure to hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.